convenient. Gmail Outlook.
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted to
Voulez-vous?
So guys, welcome to my How to Speak Up for Yourself workshop. This is the table of content. We have why are we afraid to speak up? When should you speak up? Before you speak up, like some tips and exercises.
Are you already recording?
Yes. So, why are we afraid to speak up? We are less likely to feel comfortable speaking up if we had consistently had bad experiences with social acceptability or standing up for ourselves. We still suffer in silence usually. We don't say anything unless it's like too late or we are ashamed and we don't say anything. Also, throughout the history of humanity, speaking up was the most dangerous thing a human can do because the superiors above us, who demanded complete obedience, were strictly uninterested in others' things they had to say. Sometimes they were also killed because of that. And also throughout the history of being a child, it was better for them to not speak up. They were considered as a good child if they were silent. And for example, if they mistakenly like spilled some drink, they would rather just hide it than tell it to their parents. And also, in certain situations with our parents, when they want you to be a doctor or have a specific job, then it's better to speak up for yourself and tell them that you don't want to do that and just be yourself. Yeah. And also, if you're in a relationship, it's better to tell about your emotions and how do you feel, and speaking up is really important in this relationship. So, why are you afraid to speak up? Skylar. And do you have some examples and experiences?
So that's a really tough question. I don't know. I feel like we have a similar experience, like in Slovakia, that the school system is pretty strict in the sense that there's a division between like people who are older than you and have authority over you. So usually there, if you try to like speak up for yourself, then it was deemed as like what a polite child should do. So I feel like maybe that's why I was afraid to speak up, like in school and stuff. And in my personal life, I don't know. So I was always just shy. So I guess just overcoming that and being confident in yourself, that would be my tip.
Do you feel like parents are affecting their child behavior?
Oh,
in terms of
definitely.
speaking up.
Oh, definitely. I believe that when people always discuss like nurture versus nature, right? I think the way the parents bring up their children really shows in their actions and stuff. So definitely, I don't believe that a child is born with those specific qualities.
Coco?
I'm not really afraid to speak up, but if I was afraid, it will probably be because of the opinions of others. Yeah. I think that.
Probably because I don't want other people to think that I'm stupid. So, yeah, basically that.
Caroline?
I think for me, it's probably the reaction you get when you speak up. So people not agreeing or people having an opinion of you when you speak up.
So here are one of the most reasons people are not speaking up. For example, childhood experiences, because it can be challenging to speak up for ourselves if we have experienced bullying or violence or other forms of abuse when we were children. And also behavior of our parents is one of the most usual things that is causing people to not speak up. And also, if your parents are divorced, you have to pick a parent to live with, which is really bad and it causes a trauma from childhood. And then we have gender differences. Female employees have reported that they are sometimes afraid to speak up. And if they are speaking up, they can be characterized as difficult to work with, which is one of the bad things in the workplace. Then we have concerns what other people think, which is one of the most usual things that affects us, and also me. Because you can be sometimes worried that it causes uncomfortable situation in your workplace or in school, and you can feel out of place sometimes. And post-traumatic experiences after speaking up. Yeah. Then I also have a slide where you should speak up sometimes. For example, when you notice when someone is upset, because speaking on someone else's behalf is sometimes easier, and the person then feels more confident and at ease to speak up about their own experience, and it could open up also opportunities for others to speak for them. Then when something goes against the rules of the workplace, you should not be afraid to speak to your boss if you're mistreated or you think that something is wrong. When you have the upper hand, regardless of your position, but if you're in a leadership role, it is your duty to stand up for others that don't have the same privilege. And when no one else does, because everyone has had the experience that when you see something as bad, they're waiting for someone else to point out the obvious thing, and when they do that, there is like a collective sigh of relief from everyone that finally someone said anything, and then they feel safer to speak out in those circumstances. And when the little voice in your head says to speak up, because sometimes it's really hard to not speak up when it's a difficult situation, and then you just always think about it, and the little voice says like speak up, and I think you cannot just escape that feeling. So before you speak up, these are one of the few tips that you can do. You have to ask yourself a question. What exactly do I fear? Like, what is gonna happen if I speak up? And usually it's just overthinking about the situation and it's not completely true that something bad will happen. Then you have to absorb the experience, learn to recognize the physical and emotional signals that indicate that you are holding back on saying anything. And the third thing is to be clear on what you want to accomplish when you're speaking up for yourself. One of the necessary skills for speaking up are usually confidence and gestures. To gain confidence in speaking, you should write down what you want to say exactly. And if you want to practice gaining confidence, then you should look for people that you feel comfortable with and tell them about your situation and tell them you want to improve your confidence and that you want to build it, and ask them to observe and give you feedback on what you want to grow in. And you also had to pay attention to your body and your verbal language. So how do you feel after speaking up for yourself, Kogan?
Mostly I feel relieved, but it depends on like what kind of situation. If you're in like an environment, when you work in a group and someone is not doing their job, for example, and everyone is like, I'm not gonna say anything, I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
And then I'm the one who's gonna speak up for it. After that I can feel relief, but I can also feel like a little bit bad because I don't want to hurt the other one's feelings because I'm the one who's saying it. But yeah, sometimes it's also don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah.
I'm saying what everyone's thinking.
Yeah, but sometimes when you said it, other people can join you. And
Yeah, that's
it's not
true.
only on you. Yeah. Gwen?
Yeah, I feel like it depends on the situation. Like if the end result is positive, I will feel positive as well. But if like something bad happens if I speak up, then I will feel bad too. So, yeah, it depends on the situation.
Or do you sometimes feel frustrated or like, why did I say that? Or
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's like if I said something stupid, then I'm like, why did I?
Overthinking,
Yeah.
Hey, Caroline?
Yeah, I think I agree with Gwen. So yeah, when you say something good, you can feel relieved or positive. And otherwise, I could feel kind of nervous to say something. Yeah, makes me kind of anxious.
I agree with everything that's been said, basically. It really depends on the reaction of the other person, like when I'm speaking up for myself. And the worst for me is when they have almost no reaction, because then I overthink everything I said for days. So, yeah.
That's usually how most of us feel. So here are 7 things to practice with if you want to speak up and have like a presentation or something. You can explain your idea to a child, because child are like really honest with you and they will tell you if it's a stupid idea, and yeah, they're just being honest. And you can practice small talk, write out your main points, perfect your posture, experiment with variations, play with your pacing, and also you can record your pitch and replay it and see what you did, what was your verbal language, and how did you do it in overall. Sometimes it's also not safe to speak up. You always have to prioritize your safety with someone else, your friends or family. If you're at the risk of physical harm, job reprisals, or emotional abuse. And these are the situations where you really have to ask for help with someone if you're really afraid to speak up. So I have an exercise, which is a role play for you guys. And this roleplay is about the teacher gave you a bad mark in school, even though you did everything correctly, and you have to try to speak up for yourself. So you can be a student, and Coco, you can be a teacher. You can have a
Should we
discussion.
sit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coco likes to read English.
No.
Yeah, you can start.
Teacher, there's something I'd like to discuss with you regarding my most recent grade. I followed every procedure, every rule that you put in place, and still I got a pretty low score. And I wanted to see if we can go over my work again, and maybe you made a mistake.
Hello, Skylar. It's nice that you're finally here in class. Because you never are. And that's why I gave you a bad grade. Even though your work is good, but if you're not in class, that's also part of your grade.
Okay, but wait. I have this doctor's note. I broke my leg. I've been in the hospital for 3 weeks, and that's why I wasn't at school.
But you didn't inform me before.
I informed
If
the
you did.
principal.
If you informed me about, because I'm the one who gives you a grade. If you informed me, then maybe I could change a little bit. But is it illegal or how do you say, a legal prescription or like document of the
Yes, it's
doctor
from
that
the-
you were there for
it's
3
from
weeks?
the hospital, yeah. It has a stamp and everything.
Okay, maybe if I see that, maybe I can consider to change a little bit, but that's why I gave you a bad grade. Even though your work is good, you also need to be,
Yeah, but you
In
never
class.
mentioned in the curriculum that we need to be present in class and that it counts to the grade to the final test.
but it's on Moodle. Everything is on Moodle.
You know the arguments, right?
What?
You know the arguments.
What do you think about the roleplay?
Oh, sorry, my bad, I guess.
But I can consider a little.
Yes, please consider. I
Give me
would-
the-
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Instantly misplaced it.
What do you think
Yeah,
about the
so
roleplay?
if Skylar is great. If Skylar didn't speak up for herself, then the teacher would have just left the bad mark, and now the teacher is rethinking about the decision.
That's so funny.
The little Moodle guy.
Everything's on Moodle.
Yeah, that felt well, too real.
Okay, I have another roleplay for Gwen and Caroline, that your classmate is being bullied and is making fun of your weight. So, who wants to be who?
We were not able to
You don't deserve to choose.
Taking track of the time, huh?
Yeah.
Because 5 o'clock is the deadline.
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
Oh, it was.
Yeah, this is the last one. Yeah.
You want to bully?
Oh, I don't want to bully you.
Okay, I'll be. So do I have to bully?
Let's we go for
Yeah.
it.
Just speak up.
Yeah, because you're being bullied.
Yeah, okay. Well, Gwen, I wanted to say something to you because I feel like you're not being very nice to me and you're making fun of my weight and I really don't feel comfortable in doing that.
But I'm just telling the truth. You should eat more. Because you're too thin.
I should eat more.
Yeah,
That's not
it's
nice
not
of
healthy.
you.
I'm just worried about your well-being.
Yeah, but the way you say it to me is so mean to me. So I would appreciate it a lot if you did not mention my weight at all. Because I can take care of my own.
Yeah. Well, I think it's kind of disruptive. You're not eating enough. Because I never see you eat in class, and it could be triggering to people.
Well, I think that's none of your business, and I think you should care about you have to take care of yourself, and I can do the same. So if you would just leave me alone and not make fun of my weight, that would be great.
You know, you're right, it's your business, but I feel like it could be sensitive to other people. So,
Well, I disagree, so if you would just leave me alone, that would be lovely.
and what if I do it behind your back?
I'll stand up to the teacher and your parents. I will tell you that you don't believe me.
Okay, I'll do it less.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Well, yeah, you spoke up for yourself, and your bully is a really horrible person. Still, but she's gonna do it less extreme. So
That's great. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so speaking up for yourself may never be simple since it always includes some kind of social danger, but with proper training and studying yourself and your actions, you can always improve it. And it's always brave to speak up. Thank you for your attention.
Nice.
Very
So
good.
nice.
You see how difficult it is to find a good role play to play, huh?
yeah, it is.
It's difficult to find out something which can be done realistically, and
Yeah.
yeah, still it's challenging, yeah. Thank you.
I will stop the video.